Hi, I'm Eddie Maffia, and welcome to this episode of Inside Iona. Today, I'm joined with Josephine Nguyen.
Thanks, Eddie.
Deaf comedian DJ Demers came to Iona on October 26th with his Here to Hear tour. The tour was sponsored by hearing aid company Phonak, which partnered with the America's Got Talent alum to shatter stigma surrounding hearing loss. Demers made quips about his relationships, personal life, and hearing loss in a set that had students roaring. Our own Matt Ricker had a chance to speak with Demers after the show.
I'm Matt Ricker reporting here at Iona College, where DJ Demers, a comedian from season 11 of America's Got Talent, just performed to Iona students.
Country for 28 days now. We got 8 more days, and just driving around in the RV. It's been awesome, man. We've hit 15 schools, 14 schools, and 13 schools, 7 more to go. So we're going to Gallaudet tomorrow. You guys know the deaf college? Iconic, been around since 1817. I just learned that. Gallaudet, that's how you say it in sign language. You know that? You sign?
A little bit, not that much.
I don't really know much either. I'm very bad at it.
DJ and I had the opportunity to sit down and talk about his journey with hearing loss, his Here to Hear tour, and his experience with comedy.
Yeah.
You were on the 11th season of America's Got Talent. So
Yeah.
Tell me what that experience was like on America's Got Talent.
While I was going through it, I was like, this isn't a big deal, don't overreact. And then after it was all over, and I was like, I was just talking to Simon Cowell and Howie Mandel and Scary Spice and Heidi Klum. After the fact, I allowed myself to kind of sit back and be like, no, that was pretty cool.
What or who inspired you to get into comedy?
I've been thinking lately, I always answer with comedians, but I would say my dad was the earliest example of like somebody who made me realize that you can kind of make it your goal to just make people laugh in everyday conversation. Comedians, I would say like Jerry Seinfeld, Brian Regan, Sarah Silverman, bunch of comedians that I love. Seinfeld was the first special I ever saw.
Tell me a little bit about your Here to Hear tour and how that got started.
Yeah, the Here to Hear tour, I wear Phonak hearing aids, and they're the sponsor of the tour. And I was on Conan O'Brien in 2014, and a representative from Phonak reached out to me, Vincent, and I was doing a Reddit AMA, and he said, what product or what hearing aid do you wear? And I said, Phonak, and he was like, you don't say. So we started talking, and I did a few little things with them, and a few funny little videos, and then they reached out, Vincent and Jill, who's on the tour with us, reached out and said, do you want to do like a month-long tour, like an RV, travel the country? And I was like, of course. And then, when they stated that the mission would be to destigmatize hearing loss and try to bring awareness to it, that just made it an easier sell for me.
For ICTV, I'm Matt Ricker.
Thanks, Matt. Preparations for the fall concert are underway. The Iona College Dance Ensemble is performing a show titled Memories and New Beginnings. The event is set to happen on November 16th. We here at ICTV simply could not wait, so we sat in on a rehearsal. Take a look.
I'm Dr. Hannah Park. I happen to kind of oversee the entire dance offerings here at Iona College, and I happen to be the director of the Iona Dance Ensemble.
What goes into putting together a performance like this?
Yeah, our dancers, as you know, they all have their own majors to pursue, and they're really doing this because they really love to dance. And so they might have limited time. We actually have very limited time for the rehearsals, but they do what they can to really allow their schedule to make it work. So there are actually some committed dancers who actually are in the dance studio more than the designated ensemble rehearsal times, which is very limited, to work on more smaller pieces in a very hands-on way. So we do have in the dance studio, we do have pretty much rehearsals scheduled back-to-back on Tuesday and Thursdays, which is the days that I am pretty much open for the ensemble members to be available for them. Depending upon what the dancers will really want to explore, it does vary. Oftentimes, I might have the main ensemble pieces that I think might work to all the dancers in a very kind of inclusive way, whether they have little experience to a lot of experience, versus whether they have interest more in modern dance versus other dance forms. I usually look for dances that could embrace pretty much all kinds of dancers in the ensemble piece. But when it comes to smaller pieces, I'm really looking for supporting the students' kind of ideas and insights and their preferences in terms of movement aesthetics or creative processes. So it's very hands-on.
Thanks, Simone, for the great footage. You know, I attend the Dance Ensemble concert every year, and they put in so much work. It's fantastic.
Absolutely. Our final story today involves Iona's business school. Along with temporary changes to classrooms and the projected renovations to Hagen, the School of Business welcomed a new dean this August. Matt Ricker sat down with Dean Lamb to get some updates about the business school.
Do you have any plans to change anything in the business school? Do you have any new intentions, any big changes that you think will be coming?
Well, the starting point for that discussion is to talk to as many faculty and as many students and staff as possible, get a feeling for what they like about what we do, what they think could be changed. So I've been taking, a lot of the meetings I've been taking so far have been meetings to talk about that, try and get a grip on where people think we are and where they'd most like to be. So we're already talking about a number of things. I think, for the college as a whole, we've got an exciting new approach to the core curriculum that's being rolled out now. I'm sure we'll be having continued discussions about the core and any adjustments we might want to make to the core, as a whole college. We also, I think, will be wanting to take a look at the business school core and the business school curricula as well, just to have the faculty really think of whether or not everything is the way they want it to be, and is it responsive to what students today want. One thing I would love to see, I haven't got a specific way that we get to this yet, but one of the questions I'm asking lots of people is how do we get a little bit more flexibility within the curriculum so the student can customize it a little more to their own personal tastes and interests. Where could we find some places that you could open up the choice set, open up the options a little bit for people? At the graduate level, I'd love to see us have even more success. We have a number of students who stay for a 5th year and go right into graduate school. I'd like to have more options and more ways for people to do that. So we're taking a look at some of our master's programs to say, how do we make these various programs mesh more easily with your undergraduate study, so that you could put a 5-year plan together if that's your preference. And then within the MBA, I think we'll also take a look at the MBA and just do some comparisons of ourselves to other schools that are out there and try to figure out if there's some adjustments we'd make to the curriculum there. In general, I think there probably could be some more things we do with our online learning and hybrid learning, giving students a little bit of flexibility. Say you're on an internship, you have to be away. Could you get a class done while you're away if we offered you a few more choices of ways to complete the course? That sort of thing.
We are talking baby rumors, celebrity couples, and more on sexual allegations in the Hollywood film industry. Nicole Chacon, Michael Cusano, and Alyssa Cordero join me to discuss some of entertainment's biggest headlines. Hi everyone, Nicole Chacon and Alyssa Cordero join me today to help comb through some of the most recent and trending headlines in entertainment. Welcome ladies, it's a pleasure to have you on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. So following the fall of Harvey Weinstein, we have been swamped with stories on sexual harassment and assault in the Hollywood film industry. Believe it or not, the ongoing problem has actually dated back to 1945, when late actress Maureen O'Hara of 1961's The Parent Trap spoke out about being harassed on set. In an interview, she said, quote, "I'm a helpless victim of a Hollywood whispering campaign," ending with, "If that's Hollywood's idea of being a woman, I'm ready to quit." Clearly, this has been a sensitive subject in Hollywood for a long time now, and is only now coming into the limelight. Since the accusations towards Harvey Weinstein and other powerful players we have seen a trend of movements. So what are your thoughts on this sudden outburst of sexual allegations, and if there were any actress that spoke out and which surprised you?
I think one of the most surprising ones so far has been the accusation towards Ed Westwick.
Right.
Actress Christina Cohen actually recently said that he had raped her at his apartment in New York City. And I'm just shocked because I think all of us know that we grew up watching Gossip Girl and like
Right.
Chuck Bass is Chuck Bass. But I think that one's just the craziest one just because it's like you don't want to believe that your teenage heartthrob like could be accused of sexual assault. So I don't know, I think that one was probably one of the most
I
shocking.
think, like, bouncing off of Ed Westwick, it was very surprising to me because I can see where this can lead him into the hot waters because his character, Chuck Bass, is very scandalous and is all about it. So I don't know how he would justify his response to the accusation. So, I don't know, I mean, we'll have to wait and see.
No idea.
Yeah. But I think this is quite impactful to find out that an actress, has spoken about it for years now, and we're only hearing about it now. And the issue has been so big. So what do you think about that?
One of the people who shocked me the most was Kevin Spacey,
Right.
because when you hear about it, it's all usually a guy to a girl, and this was one of the first ones I heard when it was guy on guy. Especially that Kevin Spacey was so much older than him.
It was just like crazy how like he just absolutely flipped that situation.
I think it's crazy. I think the allegation about Kevin Spacey is just kind of, it was known, even like there was a story from the PA on House of Cards that basically said that, producers were sending this PA to go to Kevin Spacey because he took a liking to him. And I think it's crazy that people tolerated it. I mean, just because it's Kevin Spacey, and he even went off, like they were saying, like he was so like crazy with power that like he just did what he wanted to do.
Right.
I think that.
How do you think his co-actors feel, like co-actors of House of Cards, to be able to like, pour your heart out on, the show and for it to be canceled on Netflix? That's
Yeah, no, I
insane.
think
I feel for
definitely
them.
canceling it's probably the smartest thing that you can do right now for Netflix,
know.
at least, just because
Crazy.
it's crazy.
Did Kylie Jenner break her silence on pregnancy rumors? Just tell us already. Earlier this month, Kylie slammed the paparazzi for allegedly altering her photos to make her look pregnant. Celebrity photo site X17 Online responded to the backlash and claimed these photos were real and were not photoshopped. Hashtag no filter. On top of that, fans are now wondering if she is pregnant at all. Kylie took to Snapchat to share an image of items she bought on an errand. Fans were quick to notice she bought a pack of tampons. Kylie has yet to confirm the pregnancy rumors, so surely the search for the baby bump will continue. So she was on this run with her sister Chloe, who's also presumably pregnant, third member in the family. Could it have been possible for this social media move to have been staged, and what are your thoughts?
I don't think Kylie Jenner is pregnant at all. I think Kris Jenner is a smart woman and she knows exactly what she's doing.
She's very strategic.
No, she is. And I think the thing is just like, if I was Kris, I would tell people that, Kylie was pregnant. That's great news. That's
like,
great.
"Oh, go ahead, darling, go
It's
ahead."
like
Yeah.
any publicity is good publicity in my
Right.
opinion. So I personally don't think like she's pregnant.
Right.
I really don't.
The question is, how much publicity is enough for this family?
Well,
but we'll get back on that. How about you? What do you think?
Going off of that, I don't think she's pregnant either. I never kept up with the Kardashians, but I feel like knowing who they are, anything that they did would be covered in the spotlight. So I
Right.
feel like them putting it off, and then it's like strategically there'd be like pictures, be like she's in baggy clothes, like she's out with
Right,
her
with
boyfriend
whoever,
Travis.
yeah.
Like I feel like she's
Well, and I
not.
also think because like she's always been in baggy clothes though. Like anytime she gets any sort of surgery done, although she doesn't confirm that she's done the surgeries, the only one she's done is like the lip one.
Yeah.
But like there's rumors of her getting a boob job, and even then like
Right.
during that time she was wearing these baggy clothes. So it's like, is she not like?
But I'm thinking, like, on top of that, her Instagram photos have been just the waist up, and I
True.
think that's something different that fans are noticing of her.
Yeah.
And so why is she wearing baggy clothes more often if you're all about, like
Well,
the
honestly,
extensions,
like,
and,
with
the
Kylie,
extra,
she
the
could be getting,
glamorous.
like, another
So it's,
surgery.
something that you really can't keep up with. Like, she can do something tomorrow that we'd never even think of.
That's true.
And that, bounces back to the question of, how much publicity is enough for this family. But thank you, Nicole and Alyssa, for joining me today. Back to you, Eddie.
Let's head over to Jill, who has your IC Gale Sports Report.
Thanks, Josephine and Eddie. Both the men's and women's soccer teams made the MAC championship this season, but unfortunately neither team took home a title. The men, the number 6 seed, lost 1-0 to number 3 seed Canisius. The women first bested Fairfield after tying in regulation time and outscoring Fairfield 5-4 on penalty kicks. The team then went on to meet number 2 seed Manhattan, to whom they lost 6-0. Now switching gears to the highly anticipated basketball season. Both teams kicked off their seasons on Friday, November 10th, the women in Arizona and the men in Albany. The women will have their first home game on Sunday, November 19th at 1 o'clock against Temple University, and the men will be home on Saturday, December 2nd at 1 o'clock against Fairleigh Dickinson University. Here's hoping for another successful basketball season. Now, a very important announcement, everyone. Keep your eye out for ICTV's brand new sports show. Sit down with us as we discuss and debate all the latest updates in our new show, On the Ball. Now back to you, Josephine and Eddie.
And now we'll look ahead. The Speech and Communication Studies Department knows what students truly need. Therapy dogs are set to visit the Heinz Athletic Center in the Haggerty Room on November 27th.
Emmy Award-winning producer Ross Greenberg will be on campus on November 15th, screening his NHL at 100 documentary series. Greenberg and his fellow producers will be present for the screening and a Q&A in Ramita Auditorium.
So that is all that we have for you today on this episode of Inside Iona. Please be sure to check out our previous episodes on YouTube.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to keep up with everything we're doing.
For all of us here at ICTV, I'm Josephine.
And I'm Eddie, and we'll see you next time.